Legend of the Capitoline Venus. Chapter 1. Oh, George, I do love you. Bless your dear heart. Mary, I know that. Why is your father so obdurate? George, he means well. But art is folly to him. He only understands groceries. He thinks you would starve me. Confound his wisdom. It savors of inspiration. Why am I not a money-making bowelless grocer? Instead of a divinely gifted sculptor with nothing to eat. Do not despond. Georgie, dear. All his prejudices will fade away as soon as you shall have acquired 50,000 dole. 50,000 demons. Child, I am in arrears for my board. Chapter 2. My dear sir, it is useless to talk. I haven't anything against you. But I can't let my daughter marry a hash of love, art, and starvation. I believe you have nothing else to offer. Sir, I am poor. I grant you. But is fame nothing? The Honorable Bellamy Foodle of Arkansas says that my new statue of America is a clever piece of sculpture. And he is satisfied that my name will one day be famous. Bosh. What does that Arkansas know about it? Fame's nothing. The market price of your marble scarecrow is the thing to look at. It took you 6 months to chisel it. And you can sell it for $100. No. Sir. Show me $50,000 and you can have my daughter. Otherwise she marries young Simper. You have just 6 months to raise the money in. Good morning. Sir. Alas. Woe is me. Chapter 3. Oh. John. Friend of my boyhood. I am the unhappiest of men. You're a simpleton. I have nothing left to love but my poor statue of America. And see. Even she has no sympathy for me in her cold marble countenance. So beautiful and so heartless. You're a dummy. Oh. John. Oh. Fudge. Didn't you say you had 6 months to raise the money in? Don't deride my agony. John. If I had 6 centuries, what good would it do? How could it help a poor wretch without name, capital, or friends? Idiot. Coward. Baby. 6 months to raise the money in. And 5 will do. Are you insane? 6 months. An abundance. Leave it to me. I'll raise it. What do you mean? John. How on earth can you raise such a monstrous sum for me? Will you let that be my business? And not meddle? Will you leave the thing in my hands? Will you swear to submit to whatever I do? Will you pledge me to find no fault with my actions? I am dizzy. Bewildered. But I swear. John took up a hammer and deliberately smashed the nose of America. He made another pass and 2 of her fingers fell to the floor. Another. And part of an ear came away. Another. And a row of toes was mangled and dismembered. Another. And the left leg, from the knee down, lay a fragmentary ruin. John put on his hat and departed. George gazed speechless upon the battered and grotesque nightmare before him for the space of 30 seconds. And then wilted to the floor and went into convulsions. John returned presently with a carriage. Got the broken-hearted artist and the broken-legged statue aboard. And drove off. Whistling low and tranquilly. He left the artist at his lodgings. And drove off and disappeared down the Via Quirinalis with the statue. Chapter 4. The 6 months will be up at 2 o'clock today. Oh. Agony. My life is blighted. I would that I were dead. I had no supper yesterday. I have had no breakfast today. I dare not enter an eating house. And hungry. Don't mention it. My bootmaker duns me to death. My tailor duns me. My landlord haunts me. I am miserable. I haven't seen John since that awful day. She smiles on me tenderly when we meet in the great thoroughfares. But her old flint of a father makes her look in the other direction in short order. Now who is knocking at that door? Who is come to persecute me? That malignant villain the bootmaker. Ill warrant. Come in. Ah. Happiness attend your highness. Heaven be propitious to your grace. I have brought my lord's new boots. Ah. Say nothing about the pay. There is no hurry. None in the world. Shall be proud if my noble lord will continue to honor me with his custom. Ah. Adieu. Brought the boots himself. Don't wait his pay. Takes his leave with a bow and a scrape fit to honor majesty withal. Desires a continuance of my custom. Is the world coming to an end? Of all the. Come in. Pardon. Signore. But I have brought your new suit of clothes for. Come in. 1,000 pardons for this intrusion. Your worship. But I have prepared the beautiful suite of rooms below for you. This wretched den is but ill-suited to. Come in. I have called to say that your credit at our bank, some time since unfortunately interrupted, is entirely and most satisfactorily restored. And we shall be most happy if you will draw upon us for any. Come in. My noble boy. She is yours. Shall be here in a moment. Take her. Marry her. Love her. Be happy. God bless you both. Hip. Hip. Hut. Come in. Oh. George. My own darling. We are saved. Oh. Mary. My own darling. We are saved. But he'll swear I don't know why nor how. Chapter 5. One of a group of American gentlemen reads and translates from the weekly edition of I1 Slangwanga di Rome as follows. Wonderful discovery. Some 6 months ago Senior John Smithy, an American gentleman now some years a resident of Rome, purchased for a trifle a small piece of ground in the Campania, just beyond the tomb of the Scipio family, from the owner, a bankrupt relative of the Princess Borghese. Mr. Smithy afterward went to the Minister of the Public Records and had the piece of ground transferred to a poor American artist named George Arnold, explaining that he did it as payment and satisfaction for pecuniary damage accidentally done by him long since upon property belonging to Senior Arnold, and further observed that he would make additional satisfaction by improving the ground for Senior A. at his own charge and cost. For weeks ago, while making some necessary excavations upon the property, Senior Smithy unearthed the most remarkable ancient statue that has ever been added to the opulent art treasures of Rome. It was an exquisite figure of a woman, and though sadly stained by the soil and the mold of ages, no eye can look unmoved upon its ravishing beauty. The nose, the left leg from the knee down, an ear, and also the toes of the right foot and 2 fingers of one of the hands were gone. But otherwise the noble figure was in a remarkable state of preservation. The government at once took military possession of the statue, and appointed a commission of art critics, antiquaries, and cardinal princes of the church to assess its value and determine the remuneration that must go to the owner of the ground in which it was found. The whole affair was kept a profound secret until last night. In the meantime the commission sat with closed doors and deliberated. Last night they decided unanimously that the statue is a Venus, and the work of some unknown but sublimely gifted artist of the 3rd century before Christ. They consider it the most faultless work of art the world has any knowledge of. At midnight they held a final conference and decided that the Venus was worth the enormous sum of 10 million francs. in accordance with Roman law and Roman usage. The government being half-owner in all works of art found in the Campania. The state has naught to do but pay 5 million francs to Mr. Arnold and take permanent possession of the beautiful statue. This morning the Venus will be removed to the Capitol, there to remain. And at noon the commission will wait upon Signor Arnold with His Holiness the Pope's order upon the treasury for the princely sum of 5 million francs is gold. Chorus of voices. Luck. It's no name for it. Another voice. Gentlemen, I propose that we immediately form an American joint stock company for the purchase of lands and excavations of statues here, with proper connections in Wall Street to bull and bear the stock. All. Agreed. Chapter 6. Dearest Mary, this is the most celebrated statue in the world. This is the renowned Capitoline Venus you've heard so much about. Here she is with her little blemish Hesresta that is, patched by the most noted Roman artists. And the mere fact that they did the humble patching of so noble a creation will make their names illustrious while the world stands. How strange it seems this place. The day before I last stood here, 10 happy years ago, I wasn't a rich man. Bless your soul. I hadn't a cent. And yet I had a good deal to do with making Rome mistress of this grandest work of ancient art the world contains. The worshipped, the illustrious Capitoline Venus. And what a sum she is valued at. 10 millions of francs. Yes. Now she is. And oh, Georgie, how divinely beautiful she is. Ah. Yes, but nothing to what she was before that blessed John Smith broke her leg and battered her nose. Ingenious Smith. Gifted Smith. Noble Smith. Author of all our bliss. Hark! Do you know what that wheeze means? Mary. That cub has got the whooping cough. Will you never learn to take care of the children? The end. The Capitoline Venus is still in the Capitol at Rome, and is still the most charming and most illustrious work of ancient art the world can boast of. But if ever it shall be your fortune to stand before it and go into the customary ecstasies over it, don't permit this true and secret history of its origin to mar your bliss. And when you read about a gigantic petrified man being dug up near Syracuse, in the state of New York, or near any other place, keep your own counsel. And if the Barnum that buried him there offers to sell to you at an enormous sum, don't you buy. Send him to the Pope. The Stolen White Elephant. Chapter 1. Left out of a tramp abroad. Because it was feared that some of the particulars had been exaggerated, and that others were not true. Before these suspicions had been proven groundless, the book had gone to press. M.T. The following curious history was related to me by a chance railway acquaintance. He was a gentleman more than 70 years of age, and his thoroughly good and gentle face and earnest and sincere manner imprinted the unmistakable stamp of truth upon every statement which fell from his lips. He said, "You know in what reverence the royal white elephant of Siam is held by the people of that country. You know it is sacred to kings. Only kings may possess it. And that it is, indeed, in a measure even superior to kings, since it receives not merely honor but worship. Very well 5 years ago, when the troubles concerning the frontier line arose between Great Britain and Siam, it was presently manifest that Siam had been in the wrong. Therefore every reparation was quickly made, and the British representative stated that he was satisfied and the past should be forgotten. This greatly relieved the King of Siam, and partly as a token of gratitude, partly also, perhaps, to wipe out any little remaining vestige of unpleasantness which England might feel toward him. He wished to send the Queen a present, the sole sure way of propitiating an enemy. According to Oriental ideas, this present ought not only to be a royal one, but transcendently royal. Wherefore? What offering could be so meet as that of a white elephant? My position in the Indian civil service was such that I was deemed peculiarly worthy of the honor of conveying the present to Her Majesty. A ship was fitted out for me and my servants and the officers and attendants of the elephant. And in due time I arrived in New York Harbor and placed my royal charge in admirable quarters in Jersey City. It was necessary to remain a while in order to recruit the animal's health before resuming the voyage. All went well during a fortnight. Then my calamities began. The white elephant was stolen. I was called up at dead of night and informed of this fearful misfortune. For some moments I was beside myself with terror and anxiety. I was helpless. Then I grew calmer and collected my faculties. I soon saw my course. 4. Indeed, there was but the one course for an intelligent man to pursue. Late as it was, I flew to New York and got a policeman to conduct me to the headquarters of the detective force. Fortunately, I arrived in time. Though the chief of the force, the celebrated Inspector Blunt, was just on the point of leaving for his home. He was a man of middle size and compact frame. And when he was thinking deeply, he had a way of knitting his brows and tapping his forehead reflectively with his finger, which impressed you at once with the conviction that you stood in the presence of a person of no common order. The very sight of him gave me confidence and made me hopeful. I stated my errand. It did not flurry him in the least. It had no more visible effect upon his iron self-possession than if I had told him somebody had stolen my dog. He motioned me to a seat and said calmly, "Allow me to think a moment, please." So saying, he sat down at his office table and leaned his head upon his hand. Several clerks were at work at the other end of the room. The scratching of their pens was all the sound I heard during the next 6 or 7 minutes. Meantime the inspector sat there, buried in thought. Finally he raised his head, and there was that in the firm lines of his face which showed me that his brain had done its work and his plan was made. Said he, and his voice was low and impressive, "This is no ordinary case. Every step must be warily taken. Each step must be made sure before the next is ventured. And secrecy must be observed. Secrecy profound and absolute. Speak to no one about the matter. Not even the reporters. I will take care of them. I will see that they get only what it may suit my ends to let them know." He touched a bell. A youth appeared. "Alaric, tell the reporters to remain for the present." The boy retired. "Now let us proceed to business. And systematically. Nothing can be accomplished in this trade of mine without strict and minute method." He took a pen and some paper. "Now, name of the elephant." "Hassan ben Ali ben Salim Abdullah Mohammed Moist Al-Hamal Jamset Jajib Hoy Dulip Sultan Ebu Budpur." "Very well. Given name?" "Jumbo." "Very well. Place of birth?" "The capital city of Siam." "Parents living?" "No. Dead." "Had they any other issue besides this one?" "None." "He was an only child." "Very well. These matters are sufficient under that head. Now please describe the elephant. And leave out no particular, however insignificant. That is, insignificant from your point of view. To me in my profession there are no insignificant particulars. They do not exist." I described. He wrote. When I was done, he said, "Now listen. If I have made any mistakes, correct me." He read as follows. Height, 19 feet length from apex of forehead, insertion of tail. 26 feet length of trunk. 16 feet length of tail. 6 feet total length, including trunk and tail. 48 feet length of tusks. 9 feet ears. Keeping with these dimensions, footprint resembles the mark left when one appends a barrel in the snow. The color of the elephant, A dull white has a hole the size of a plate in each ear for the insertion of jewelry and possesses the habit in a remarkable degree of squirting water upon spectators and of maltreating with his trunk not only such persons as he is acquainted with, but even entire strangers. Limps slightly with his right hind leg, and has a small scar in his left armpit caused by a former boil had on, when stolen, a castle containing seats for 15 persons, and a gold cloth saddle blanket the size of an ordinary carpet. There were no mistakes. The inspector touched the bell, handed the description to Alaric, and said, "Have 50,000 copies of this printed at once and mailed to every detective office and pawnbroker's shop on the continent." Alaric retired. There. So far. So good. Next. I must have a photograph of the property. I gave him one. He examined it critically and said, "It must do. Since we can do no better, but he has his trunk curled up and tucked into his mouth. That is unfortunate, and is calculated to mislead. For of course he does not usually have it in that position." He touched his bell. "Alaric, have 50,000 copies of this photograph made the first thing in the morning, and mail them with the descriptive circulars." Alaric retired to execute his orders. The inspector said, "It will be necessary to offer a reward." "Of course. Now as to the amount. What sum would you suggest? To begin with, I should say, well, $25,000. It is an intricate and difficult business. There are 1,000 avenues of escape and opportunities of concealment. These thieves have friends and pals everywhere. Bless me! Do you know who they are? The wary face, practiced in concealing the thoughts and feelings within, gave me no token, nor yet the replying words, so quietly uttered. Never mind about that. I may, and I may not. We generally gather a pretty shrewd inkling of who our man is by the manner of his work and the size of the game he goes after. We are not dealing with a pickpocket or a hall thief now. Make up your mind to that. This property was not lifted by a novice. But, as I was saying, considering the amount of travel which will have to be done, and the diligence with which the thieves will cover up their traces as they move along, 25,000 may be too small a sum to offer. Yet I think it worthwhile to start with that. So we determined upon that figure as a beginning. Then this man, whom nothing escaped which could by any possibility be made to serve as a clue, said, "There are cases in detective history to show that criminals have been detected through peculiarities in their appetites. Now, what does this elephant eat? And how much? Well, as to what he eats, he will eat anything. He will eat a man. He will eat a Bible. He will eat anything between a man and a Bible." Good. Very good. Indeed. But too general. Details are necessary. Details are the only valuable things in our trade. Very well. As to men, at one meal, or, if you prefer, during one day, how many men will he eat? If fresh, he would not care whether they were fresh or not. At a single meal he would eat 5 ordinary men. Very good, 5 men. We will put that down. What nationalities would he prefer? He is indifferent about nationalities. He prefers acquaintances, but is not prejudiced against strangers. Very good. Now, as to Bibles, how many Bibles would he eat at a meal? He would eat an entire edition. It is hardly succinct enough. Do you mean the ordinary octavo? Or the Family Illustrated? I think he would be indifferent to illustrations, that is. I think he would not value illustrations above simple letterpress. No. You do not get my idea. I refer to bulk. The ordinary octavo Bible weighs about 2.5 pounds, while the Great Quarto with the illustrations weighs 10 or 12. How many door Bibles would he eat at a meal? If you knew this elephant, you could not ask. He would take what they had. Well, put it in dollars and cents. Then, we must get at it somehow. The door costs $100 a copy. Russia leather. Beveled. He would require about $50,000 worth. Say an edition of 500 copies. Now that is more exact. I will put that down. Very well, he likes men and Bible so far. So good. What else will he eat? I want particulars. He will leave Bibles to eat bricks. He will leave bricks to eat bottles. He will leave bottles to eat clothing. He will leave clothing to eat cats. He will leave cats to eat oysters. He will leave oysters to eat ham. He will leave ham to eat sugar. He will leave sugar to eat pie. He will leave pie to eat potatoes. He will leave potatoes to eat bran. He will leave bran to eat hay. He will leave hay to eat oats. He will leave oats to eat rice. For he was mainly raised on it. There is nothing whatever that he will not eat but European butter. And he would eat that if he could taste it. Very good. General quantity at a meal. Say about. Well, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 ton. And he drinks everything that is fluid. Milk. Water. Whiskey. Molasses. Castor oil. Camphene. Carbolic acid. It is no use to go into particulars. Whatever fluid occurs to you, set it down. He will drink anything that is fluid. Except European coffee. Very good. As to quantity, put it down 5 to 15 barrels. His thirst varies, his other appetites do not. These things are unusual. They ought to furnish quite good clues toward tracing him. He touched the bell. Alaric summoned Captain Burns. Burns appeared. Inspector Blunt unfolded the whole matter to him, detail by detail. Then he said in the clear, decisive tones of a man whose plans are clearly defined in his head and who is accustomed to command. Captain Burns. Detail Detectives Jones, Davis, Halsey, Bates, and Hackett to shadow the elephant. Yes, sir. Detail Detectives Moses, Dakin, Murphy, Rogers Tupper, Higgins, and Bartholomew to shadow the thieves. Yes, sir. Place a strong guard. A guard of 30 picked men, with a relief of 30, over the place from whence the elephant was stolen, to keep strict watch there night and day, and allow none to approach, except reporters, without written authority from me. Yes, sir. Place detectives in plain clothes in the railway, steamship, and ferry depots, and upon all roadways leading out of Jersey City, with orders to search all suspicious persons. Yes, sir. Furnish all these men with photograph and accompanying description of the elephant, and instruct them to search all trains and outgoing ferry boats and other vessels. Yes, sir. If the elephant should be found, let him be seized, and the information forwarded to me by telegraph. Yes, sir. Let me be informed at once if any clues should be found. Footprints of the animal, or anything of that kind. Yes, sir. Get an order commanding the harbor police to patrol the frontages vigilantly. Yes, sir. Dispatch detectives in plain clothes over all the railways, north as far as Canada, west as far as Ohio, south as far as Washington. Yes, sir. Place experts in all the telegraph offices to listen in to all messages and let them require that all cipher dispatches be interpreted to them. Yes, sir. Let all these things be done with the utmost secrecy. Mind. The most impenetrable secrecy. Yes, sir. Report to me promptly at the usual hour. Yes, sir. Go. Yes, sir. He was gone. Inspector Blunt was silent and thoughtful a moment, while the fire in his eye cooled down and faded out. Then he turned to me and said in a placid voice, "I am not given to boasting. It is not my habit, but we shall find the elephant." I shook him warmly by the hand and thanked him, and I felt my thanks, too. The more I had seen of the man, the more I liked him, and the more I admired him and marveled over the mysterious wonders of his profession. Then we parted for the night, and I went home with a far happier heart than I had carried with me to his office.